Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. And Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your power call. We are on part 2 of Man and His Mission. We are on part 2 of Man and His Mission. If you're here for your very first time, what we do here in the power call is we watch the lecture or read a part and we share our feedback at the end. We encourage you to give your feedback at the end because something that God may have put on your heart, something that stood out to you, maybe didn't stand out vividly to someone else. And so when you bring it up, it can remind them, it can be something that they really find value in because of your perspective. So let's get to part 2 here. Let me make sure I got the right time that we're on. 48:23. All right, here we go.
And the woman become one, inseparable.
Yes, sir.
And maybe you got a mate that ain't right. Maybe the mate don't want you in no mission. Well, you try like Lot, you know, baby, we can make it. I better take a drink of water on that one. But sometimes it doesn't work. So we have to be separated from these weights that drag you down.
Yes, sir.
And then you need to find a mate that will not only marry you, but marry the mission.
Yes, sir.
That God has birthed you into the world to do. Now, coming to that point in our little short talk, I come now to the words of Jesus when he says to his disciples, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly of heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." And then he says, "Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Why is your yoke easy, Jesus? Because I was born to do what I'm doing. And therefore, it's not a burden to me. It fits me well. When one is born to sing, they sing effortlessly.
Yes, sir.
It does not mean that they don't have to practice. It does not mean that they won't fail sometimes in their effort. But what it does mean is that what you're born to do is not a burden. It's easy. And the burden is light because you're born to do exactly what you're doing. And when you're born to do it, you love to do it. And when you're born to do it and you love to do it, you draw life from doing what you're born to do, and you give life by doing what you're born to do.
Yes, sir.
when you listen to Luther Vandross.
Yes, sir.
Oh, the man is a singer. He's not just a singer, he's a singer's singer. Anybody who knows anything about singing will listen to Luther Vandross and say, now that's my man.
Yeah.
The man can sing.
That's right.
And to listen to him, he does it effortlessly. Sick or well, it makes no difference. I mean, the man can sing.
That's right.
And you can tell that he loves doing it. And since he loves to sing, when he sings, he makes us love his singing, and he is infused with life by our acceptance of his song. See? Well, so it is with a person born with a mission. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the most special human being that ever lived.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say that again. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was and is the most special human being that ever lived. Why do you say that, Brother Farrakhan? Because once every 25,000 years, there is a change. Once every 50,000 years, there is a universal change.
That's right.
When there is a universal change, there's a man born of universal magnitude to bring about that kind of change. But this is not just a universal change. This is the manifestation of the will of him who originated the heavens and the earth over 72 trillion years ago. Then a man would be born to perfect his creation. Good God Almighty.
Work with it.
Now, I want you to think now. When God consistently in the Quran uses the soft pronoun we,
Yes, sir.
and we adorned the lower heaven with stars, and we did this and we did that. Who is this we? God doing all right creating the heavens and the earth. When it comes to man, he said, let us make man. So there is now a group of like-minded persons accepting a duty and a mission directed by a supreme director, and those persons are saying, and we adorned the lower heaven with stars. God is talking with his agents of work.
Yes, sir.
In his company, and we did this. And had we wished to take a pastime from before ourselves, we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. We who? Who is the we? As in the beginning, Allah created himself, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, out of total triple darkness, and created us out of that darkness. And then he said, we. He said the powers of the heavens and the earth are from us, the original people. Now, as it was in the beginning, so it is now in this time of universal change. There has to be one raised and one sent.
Yes, sir.
And that one must now raise a people that will accept the mission and say, and we did such and so, and we will do such and so. So, I mean, this is not for everybody. This is just for the few. who are called and chosen and born to do this work.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the work? What is the work? Look, if it's time for the white man to sit down, the white man is not going to sit down until the next ruler stands up.
All right. Come on, talk to us.
You don't expect the white man to just say, well, yes, my time is up. I'm leaving. Thank you very much. Adios. No. The white man is not going no place until his replacement is in place to challenge him for the place.
Come on.
How can you challenge anybody for your rightful place if you are dead to the knowledge of yourself and your place? So somebody has to come to raise you and me from the dead.
Yes, sir.
That's the first work.
Yes, sir.
Raise the black man up. I don't care what you're doing, what your particular work is. That work is not more important than the work that God and the messenger wants to put upon us. Don't you dare put your profession. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm an accountant, I'm a business person, I'm a banker, I'm a lawyer, I'm a this. Wait a minute, I didn't call you to no damn law, no business, no bank. What the hell is that to the work that is in front of us? I want you to listen to me good.
Yes, sir.
All of that is good, but it is secondary.
Yes, sir.
The first work is to raise the dead.
Raise the dead.
Well, what does that mean? Do I have to give up my role as a banker or as a book, not a bookmaker, but maybe that too, a bookkeeper, a certified public accountant, a teacher? Should I give up my work? I didn't say that. But what I am saying is that you must recognize that your work is not more important than the mission of the resurrection of the dead. What you got is a job that a white man put you on. What the hell is that? But to keep the white man's world up, you got a job. He gives you money to keep you going in his world. God wants to build a new world. Out of you and me, somebody got to take up the mission. And many of us are running. We know the truth, but we're running from the duty. Yeah, well, I mean next week, later, next year, when I get some money, I'll be back to carry on this work. But right now, man, I got to make me some money. You know what I mean? I'll give me some money. We're right, we got to all have some money. But Allah promised money, good homes, friendship in all walks of life. But he said you must do the first work, and the first work is the resurrection of our people. I was a musician, and I think I was pretty good. Well, not saying anybody would say that about themselves, but I thought I was pretty good. I had a lot of talent in the field of music, but I had to give it up to accept the mission. Now that was very painful, because music was my life. I knew nothing but music. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that's fine, brother. I wasn't in the mosque 30 days before a decree came down from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's either music or me. And all the rest of the musicians in the mosque left the mosque. I was the only one that stayed and gave it up and chose the messenger and the mosque over the music. And I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was going to do for work, because I wasn't trained in any other field but music. And you would have laughed to see me loading trucks didn't even know how to pick the thing up. I had strength. But if you don't know how to do what you do, you look crazy. And I was the craziest looking worker you've ever seen in your life. I got fired from every job. It wasn't because I was late. I worked hard, but I didn't work good. Your little brother was cleaning toilets. This is the truth, man. I didn't care what the job was. I wanted to take care of my family.
Yes, sir.
I was not going to steal, but I knew I had to work. White folks had jobs. I didn't know how to make a job for myself, so I went to work. That's what everybody got to do. If you can't make a job for yourself, you must find a job. But the job should not be the number one thing on your mind. The number one thing on your mind should be what you have accepted, the truth, and to look at your people out there suffering and saying, oh, we got to raise our people up from this terrible condition. And everyone must be committed to that work. So I went to work. That's what everybody got to do. If you can't make a job for yourself, you must find a job. But the job should not be the number one thing on your mind. The number one thing on your mind should be what you have accepted, the truth, and to look at your people out there suffering and saying, oh, we got to raise our people up from this terrible condition. And everyone must be committed to that work.
Yes, sir.
That's the work that makes all other work meaningful. But without the work of the raising of our people, no other work is significant. What are you going to tell Allah? You know, I'm a banker, Allah. I'm a doctor. You know, I was busy in the operating room. You mean to tell me I gave you some truth? And these people out there dying for the lack of knowledge, and you put that work above my work that I called you to do? Think about how you're going to answer. A word that raised you up, cleaned you up, stood you up, made you up. Now you too busy to help your brother get up? Don't you love for your brother what you love for yourself? Of course you do, but you're running from your duty. Many of us just running, skipping, ducking, dodging, dancing. Okay. I want to close because I don't want to, wear you out on myself. But brothers and sisters, God knew that it's time for a change, and he wants us to lead the change. And look at Reagan. There's going to be a new world order. Bush. And Bush is taking your place. He wants to lead the world order. Yeah. God is saying, I chose the black man. Well, he chose the black man. Look what your brothers and sisters are doing. They're boogieing, they're partying, they're rapping, they're dancing, they're popping. They don't even know that they're chosen. Why don't they know? The scripture says, how can they know except they have a teacher? And how can they have a preacher except he be sent? Somebody has to give somebody a mission. And somebody has to accept the mission, become one with the mission, and the mission is the person's reason for living. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one day I was playing a play that I had written called Organa, a Negro spelled backwards. And we were at Dunbar High School. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad slipped out of 4847 South Woodlawn and slipped into the balcony to see Brother Farrakhan playing and singing and dancing, and I was having a ball. And they told me my leader and teacher was up in the balcony. I really showed out, And the next morning, I got word that he wanted to see me for breakfast. Now, in my play, there was a beautiful black sister, Muslim, who played the part of a prostitute. There was a brother who played the part of a homosexual, in the play. And we were showing how the teachings, straightens up everybody. And there was a song that I sang called Look at My Chains. I collaborated with others to write this song, Look at My Chains, and I recorded the song. And it's a very sad, sad song. It's about slavery, and I came out, in my chains. And I remember my daughter, Betsy Jean, your captain, when she was a little girl, I was playing this in Symphony Hall in Boston, Massachusetts. And she was sitting in the audience and saw her father come out in these chains, and I was playing that thing jam up. She got up out of the chair, run down the aisle to come get her father out these chains, Her aunt had to come and grab her, tell her, no, Daddy's not in them chains, just a play, But to her, I was playing that thing too real. My daddy up in them chains. So anyway, when we did it at the Dunbar High School, the messenger called me to the home, and the next day I had coffee with him, and he took me into the living room and he said, brother, he said, I enjoyed the performance last night. I was all bubbly. Thank you, dear Holy Apostle. And I know how you feel by me, because God has blessed a ratio, to be that I was by him as you are by me. And just for him to be pleased with what I was saying just inspired me.
Yes, sir.
But then he came with the next word. He said, brother, in your play, he says, your play will probably make one day about $16 or $17 million for the nation, your play and your songs. He said, but he said, I don't want ever to see any of my sisters playing the part of a prostitute. He said, in order to act in such way, you have to put your mind in such way. And it's so difficult to raise our people up from that condition that if you cause them to act like that, you are sending them back into that which I'm trying to raise them from. It was very heavy. And then the brother that was playing the homosexual, he definitely never wanted to see a man play that part. He said, because when one is a homosexual, it takes God himself to turn you back around and make you what he originally intended. That's for the male and the female. You cannot come out of homosexuality without the help of God, nor can you come out of drugs without the help of God. So if the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the reform of our lives, he certainly did not want me producing a play that had our people playing the same part that he's trying to get us to come out of. Do you follow what I'm saying? And then he said, brother, I really like your song. He said you had everybody in the audience crying. And then he said, you know, brother, one day I was teaching in Detroit, and my subject was the prodigal son. And when I finished teaching, everybody in the audience was crying. And when I got home, Master Farad Muhammad asked me, how did I do? And before I could answer, one of the other guests said, "Oh, he did so well. He taught so today that everybody was just crying." And Master Farad Muhammad said to him, "Brother, don't make my people cry." He said, "They have cried enough. I have come to wipe away their tears." And so he told me that when I did something, it should be to uplift the people and not to put them in the position of remorse and grief and sadness. And then he got to the punchline. Well, he was working on the punchline all along. And guess what the punchline was? The punchline was, "Brother Farrakhan, I would like you to give up this music all together. All together. No more." He said, "I know that you are good at it. I know. And you think that this is what you were born for." He said, "But you have a spiritual side that this side will keep you from getting acquainted with." He said, "Your mission, your work is spiritual. Give this up." And I promised him right then and there that I would give up my music. And what I did, I went into a recording studio and I recorded the songs. And when I sent him the recording of the songs, he was angry. The next time he saw me, "I thought you told me you were going to give up this thing." I said, "I did, dear Apostle. I just went into a recording studio to record it, that we might have it. But I'm through with it." He said, "Well, all right then." He never said the music was good. That was the end of that. Now, I'm not saying that to you, Sister Patricia, or to others, give up your music. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, get on with the mission.
Yes, sir.
The mission is not singing. The mission is not dancing. The mission is getting the message of life to a dead people that they may come up to do that which Allah wants them to do. That's the mission. When I gave up, but what I am saying is, get on with the mission.
Yes, sir.
The mission is not singing. The mission is not dancing. The mission is getting the message of life to a dead people that they may come up to do that which Allah wants them to do. That's the mission. When I gave up music, I did not know where I was going to turn. I was a minister then, but I was singing and ministering, playing and ministering. And I mean, the mosque was full of people. And I don't know whether they were coming for the singing, the dancing, the playing, or the ministry. But I know when I stopped playing and singing, the mosque, kind of narrowed a little bit. Because people get frightened when you get too serious. And it looks, see, a mission and a person committed to a mission is like a slave. And our experience in slavery has been so bad, we don't ever want to be perceived as a slave again. So we run from a duty that binds us. Have you noticed that you can come to the mosque and you get involved in the work and then you get frightened? Oh, what's happening to me? I'm changing so fast that nobody recognizes me. I'm doing what everybody else is telling me to do. It's like I'm losing my personality. And you get frightened because it's like somebody else is taking you over and you're not sure of whether this is right or wrong, and you get frightened and you step back. All of a sudden you don't come out anymore for a while. You back up and start hanging out with your old friends and getting back into your old habits. And then all of a sudden God will come and smack you upside the head. Mop! Oh hell, I'll go back and slip in around the mosque. And you sneak back around. Assalamu alaikum. And then if the captain don't say anything to you, you slip in and act holy. But you know, Allah wants to say it's all right. We all go through those things. You get frightened. I was getting a little frightened because I was changing so fast. Nobody recognized me no more. I got so fierce as a Muslim. I was almost, well, taken over. Running, snatching police and all kind of stuff. I mean, I had gotten fierce, man. I'm telling you the truth. That I was a captain. You know, before I knew what a minister was, I was a captain, and I was a hard captain. I mean, I had the soldiers popping because I love to soldier. I'm just telling you, man. I lived this thing. My poor little wife, bless her heart, we didn't have no washing machines and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know nothing about no Chinese laundry. We didn't know anything about no China. We didn't have no money to give no Chinaman to do our shirt. My wife was Ting Ling Wang Tu. And we had to have a white shirt going to FOI. We had to have a white shirt on Wednesday and a white shirt on Friday and a white shirt on Sunday. And I would come in from my little job, and my shirts would be in the tub soaking. She had a scrub board and had to wear her hands out, getting that dirt out the collar and out the sleeves. I couldn't afford a nice shirt with cufflinks. Any white shirt would do. And I was telling the brother, I walked in a store the other day and I bought 3 suits, and they were good suits. Yes, this is one of them I got on. Yes, sir. Wait. I'm just saying something to you. For 9 years as a minister, I never bought a new suit. For 9 years. I used to wear old suits. I don't know whether they came off a dead man or what. I would buy them in the pawn shop, $5, $10, out of the trunk of my brother's car. They never did fit right. Because when you buying something in pawn, you got to make it, shag hanging off the shoulder, baggy in the pants. You should have seen your brother. I was a wreck. But I was a Muslim. I was jamming hard. I'm giving the brothers calisthenics, and when I got out on the floor, they could read the funny papers in the soles of my shoes, man. Therefore, I had to get some money together to buy me a pair of shoes. 9 years I was like this. But I never broke stride. I kept on going. My wife couldn't have no new bedroom suit. We didn't have no money. I don't like debt. I don't like no white man telling me you owe me. And nigga, where's the payment? You know, if you start pressing me, I'll beat your behind. That's the way I feel, man. You don't take away my manhood. Come on. Elijah Muhammad was making a man out of me, and if you try to make me a punk, I'll kill you. I don't give a damn who you are. Don't try to punk me off, whether you're a captain or lieutenant. I'm a man, goddammit, and you treat me like a man. Nobody joins Islam to be made a punk. We come to be made into men and women that will show the responsibility, but not to be berated and mistreated.
That's right. That's right.
You understand? I don't like that.
Yes, sir.
And I don't like no white man telling me what I owe you. When the nation fell, I bought 2 guns. I lost myself. Moved me here to Chicago, over there on the west side in Beverly Hills. I didn't know what them crackers do over there. And they gonna throw bricks and stuff in my window, nearly kill my granddaughter. I bought me some guns.
Yes, sir.
And I went to the police station and had a meeting with the police captain. I said, now some of your white people threw some bricks in my window. And it seems as though you all don't know how to make examples of your own. I said, so the next one to throw a bottle in my window, I'm going to put a bullet in his ass. And it's just the way I said it. I'm not lying to you. I was savage as hell. But I want to let you know that a man is going to be a man. I don't give a damn. If we live or we die, we got to stand up like men. Do you hear what I'm saying? And the same go for women. When Allah gets in you, you don't fear nothing. You don't fear nobody. You'll take a damn elephant and take his snout and beat his behind with his own snout. When Allah get in you, when Allah gets in you, fear goes out of you.
That's right.
When you fear only Allah, worship only Allah, bow down to nothing but Allah, that's when you start becoming a man and a woman, and you're ready now to accept your responsibility. Nothing comes easy that's valuable.
That's right.
In life. And my wife and I suffered, but I didn't even know I was poor. Now you know that's something. When you don't know there's another food but beans, and you don't know you're poor. Sister Clara Muhammad came, this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's wife, came to our house, and when she saw the way I was living, she cried. I didn't see her crying. I thought we were living pretty good myself. I mean, if she had seen the way I was living a few months before, now she'd have really cried. I found an old frame where I was working. And I was working in the garment district, and I had it reupholstered and made a living room set for my wife. I could not afford nothing new, and she was not going to tell me. I don't sleep in no used bed. Baby, you sleep in this or you sleep nowhere. A man got to be a man, man. That's all there is to it. You can't be no damn punk and be a Muslim.
Come on.
And the thing that's wrong with us as men is that we are giving our women babies and then allowing them to work.
Come on.
And in the old days when Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here, we never had no working woman. When the woman was a mother, she stayed home and looked after her children. But a man got to bring in what it takes. I don't know how in the world we're going to make it today. We don't have the right attitude. We don't have the right mind. We don't have the will to conquer.
Yes, sir.
And without that will and that mind to conquer, you'll never be nothing.
That's right.
And you didn't come in here to be nothing.
That's right.
We came in here to make a change in our lives. I went and I bought a rug for $20. Old used rug, but it was all right. We cleaned it. We bought an old mattress. We washed it down, fumigated it, then covered it and slept on it till I could do better. Don't force the man to get into debt when you know debt is slavery, just so you could look good for a minute and suffer when you can't pay the bills. Who are you trying to please? Don't force the man to get into debt when you know debt is slavery, just so you could look good for a minute and suffer when you can't pay the bills. Who are you trying to please? Start small and grow large like everything else does. But if you want everything right away, you don't want to work for nothing, you don't want to sacrifice to build nothing, you will never have nothing, and you won't have a man, because a man can't be a man when he's saddled down up to his neck in debt with a dissatisfied woman who don't give a damn. She want more and more and more. Let me tell you something, woman. We ought to take you and throttle you. I'm just telling you straight up. You don't want no man like me. You couldn't live with a man like me, because I would not take that damn foolishness from one of you. For 1 minute I'd drive you through the door. I don't like no woman to dominate no man, and I don't like no woman who even tries. Then you see another side of me. This is the way I was trained as a Muslim. Yes, sir. You can see it coming out of me now, right? And I'm telling you, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew the black man and woman, and he knew how to train us better than any black man that ever lived. And unless we follow his guidance, we'll never be what we're supposed to be. You'll never be a happy woman dogging your man out. He's not a man yet, but he will be. But if you keep on dogging him, you won't have nothing, and you'll end up being a lesbian at home with yourself, with no man by your side, because your damn mouth is what it is. It's a snake pit. And a man can't live under that, because he got enough hell on his head as it is trying to function in a white man's world. And he needs a wife that has compassion and understanding, and that's the value of the MGT. The MGT is supposed to make you a woman to help you make a man for God. I'm not angry with you, sisters. I'm just talking. I'm almost finished. Some of us want to see the black man up, but we don't want to suffer. We don't want no privation. You see the minister with a suit, looking nice now, but you don't know how I looked 20 years ago. My wife was with me when there was nothing but beans. And we're grown men with families. We didn't have a lot of money, but we learned how to make little do. And that was the majesty of the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because when you got a mission, you don't feel the pain of poverty.
That's right.
You know that there's a God that will make conditions better as long as you submit yourself to do his will. He's not going to let you down. I'm a living witness of that, and so is my family. My wife used to have to put Salvation Army clothes on my daughters. I'm just telling you the facts of life. I was a minister, but we were raggedy. We couldn't go downtown and buy no beautiful slip for my daughters. Whatever the Salvation Army had, we take it and clean it, wash it and iron it, and they look like new. But that's the way we came up. Now all of a sudden some of us don't have anything, but we're so proud. You got to be in the shopping mall spending what you don't have. You don't know how to sit down and pool what little you have and find the places in the city that you can buy good cheap to save your family and your money. A mission and a man. And I say this in conclusion. I don't want you to think that I'm upset with anybody here, because I'm not, you know. But I'm reflecting on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I'm reflecting on the way I was trained by him. And I thank Allah for that training. Some of us don't know the value of what we have until we lose it. And I respectfully suggest to all of us, you know, you are valuable. You are very valuable, and what you have is exceedingly valuable. But you must put it to work.
Yes, sir.
You must develop a sense of mission. Now, I'm going to close now. But beloved brothers and sisters, look. I did not know that I was born to do what I'm doing. I had no idea. I thought I was in the world to play music. I didn't know nothing about raising no dead or leading people anywhere. That was not what I saw myself as in this life. When I came to follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I didn't come to follow him with nothing in mind but just to be a good follower of a great, 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 great leader. When I saw that man, it was like love at first sight. I knew he was the man I was looking for all my life. I committed myself to him. I really, truly loved this man and loved his mission. And love you, which is his mission. So when the scripture says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly of heart, I'm living that. I've taken the yoke of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on my shoulders. And I'm learning more about him every day that I live. And on every day that I live, I realize how much of nothing I am and how great Allah is. And only with the help of Allah can a mission as dangerous and as magnificent as this mission can it be accomplished. Only with the help of Allah. But I can't do it by myself. So I called you. What did I call you for? I called you hoping that you, like me, would have a mission. Accept a mission and grow to accept the full responsibility of raising a people up from the dead. And that's what the mosque is. The mosque is a place and a process which is excruciatingly painful, but it is to grow us, to mature us, to accept the responsibility of the mission of the raising up of our people. That's the only reason we're here. Otherwise, this could be just a church. We have a little organ. You can sing. Some of you can sing and shout. You know, we have a men's glee club and play basketball on Tuesdays and chase women on Wednesdays and Thursdays. It'd be just another church. Yeah, this is not what this is, brother. We don't need no church.
That's right.
We are here to grow
Yes.
in a painful process that would allow us to accept the responsibility of the mission of the resurrection of the dead of our people. That's what the mosque is. And so many come and they stand a while and they get weak and fall out. And you see them, they're out in the street driving taxis or painters or whatnot. You see them, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. You still there? Still there. You still with Farrakhan? Still hanging there.
That's right.
Farrakhan's still on the job.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I met many of you on the job and you fell out. I'm still on the job. When you were born, I was on the job. And damn it, when you die, if you die soon, I'll be on the job. I'll be on this job. I can't get away from this job. I'm born to teach the word. And that I'm going to do until Allah takes me away. That's the mission. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. I am meek and lowly of heart, and you will find rest unto your souls. Until you take the mission, you're not going to be at peace, because every one of you that came here are born to do something. You're born for this.
Yes, sir.
And when you run and God spanks you and brings you back, it's because he wants you. He wants you. Michael Muhammad. He wants you. He wants you. That's right. See, in the truth, the ones that got a mission, I'm saying this to Abdullah Muhammad, the son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. God wants you. You can't get away. You can't run away. You can't hide from your mission, your duty, your responsibility. You were born to lift up your Father. And you will never be happy in this life, son, until you are doing what your Father brought you here to do and what Allah brought you here to do. And that's for all of you. You ain't just here to wear a long dress and look nice and pretty. You're here to become a transformed black woman as an example to all black women. And then your duty is to help me with the women. Get them up. Brothers, you don't just go out and get lost found brothers. I'm happy to see all the brothers that come, but what about the sisters? Y'all don't know how to get a sister and bring her in? Well, now I was waiting for you to say that, Brother Minister. Brothers, I want you to go. Get the brothers, but go and get the sisters too. Sisters, go get the sisters, but go get the brothers too. Now don't get caught. I'm going to get brother so-and-so. And brother so-and-so end up getting you. And it's the same with you and these lovely sisters. You're going to teach them. That's it. Well, I guess I didn't say all I wanted to say, but I guess you can't say it all in one night. But what I'm trying to say to a man that realizes he got a mission, don't just marry a woman because she's a woman. You got to find a woman that's committed to what you are committed to. You remember how the scripture said Lot had incest with his daughters? You don't believe that a prophet of God had sex with his own daughters, do you? The Holy Quran don't support that. You know what that means? Lot had a wife that was a rebel. But from his mission, he fathered spiritually women into faith. And then he went into the women of faith and produced offspring of faith. No prophet of God would ever violate such law. So, brother and sister, I hope that tonight you will understand something about mission. If my wife could not accept my mission, she would have got rid of me long time ago. And if my wife just married me for money, she'd have been gone a long time ago. You do not know the pain of a woman who marries a man that has a mission, because she'll always feel that the mission is before her. And it is. And there's no woman that can compete with a man and a mission. God gives the mission and God gives the wife, and the wife should be to help the man in the mission, not try to compete with him. Some sisters say, if it were another woman, I could fight that. But this man talk about he's at the mosque all the time. And maybe he is, and maybe he ain't. Brothers, don't use the mosque as an excuse not to be dutiful to your wives. Because if we have wives, we have a duty by them. That's part of the mission too. But the first work is the resurrection of our people. Our clothes, and maybe he ain't. Brothers, don't use the mosque as an excuse not to be dutiful to your wives. Because if we have wives, we have a duty by them. That's part of the mission too. But the first work is the resurrection of our people. I'll close by saying this. Two things. I was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad one day. My wife was at the table, and Sister Clara Muhammad was at the table, and my wife was complaining about me to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And she said, "Dear Apostle, my husband leaves me and goes into a hotel for 3 days, fasting and whatnot. And I don't think it's fair." Sister Clara Muhammad immediately got angry, not with my wife, but with me, and said to me, "My husband went through that so that you wouldn't have to go through that." What she was letting me know was her great pain when her husband was on the run from the hypocrites and ended up in jail for 5 years. Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Oh, Clara," he said, "he's only fasting and praying and studying to get closer to Allah and the work." He knew what I was doing, but they didn't understand. I would leave my wife and check into a hotel, pull the shades down, lock the door, and I would not see the outside of that room for 72 hours. I would not communicate with nothing or no one for 72 hours. And for 72 hours, I would neither drink water nor eat food. I would pray and study. And on the third day, I would emerge from that room. The FOI would come and get me and bring me to the mosque to deliver my subject. What was I doing? Disciplining myself. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he saw me doing that to get deeper and deeper into the word, he told me one day, "Don't worry about your family, brother." He said, "If you take this word and this mission, God will look after your family." And I will say this, if Allah did not look after my family, I don't believe I'd have one of them with me today. But the word of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is true. You take the mission, God will look after your family. I don't mean that you should abandon your family, but I mean that if you accept this mission of raising your people up, God will help you and help your family. And to those of you who don't have a job, this is a job. Don't accept it to run from work, because this is work.
That's right. That's right.
But if you know something about the teachings, here's a big field awaiting the wide awake man to work out in. Don't tell me you don't have a job. There's a job.
That's right. Come on, brother minister.
On every corner, everywhere you look, there's a black man dying for the lack of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if you will go after the people, don't worry about your suit. Your suit is with the people. Don't worry about your shoes. Don't worry about a home. Don't worry about a car. It's with the people. And I'm a witness. Everything I got on comes from the people. You serve Allah's mission, and Allah will better your condition. You run from worry about your suit. Your suit is with the people. Don't worry about your shoes. Don't worry about a home. Don't worry about a car. It's with the people. And I'm a witness. Everything I got on comes from the people. You serve Allah's mission, and Allah will better your condition. You run from this mission, and Allah will straighten the means of subsistence for you, and nothing you do will come out right because you're running from your responsibility. And so I guess it's fitting to close on September the 28th. What's happening on September the 28th?
Praise be to Allah. Well, that is part 2 that we are closing out with. So press the number 3 if you have anything that you would like to share that stood out to you from this particular part. Press the number 3 if you have anything that stood out to you from this particular part. Ooh, a lot of notes. Let's start off with Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. This message here, I remember listening to this when I first got married, and I sent it to she's my ex-wife now, but I sent it to her, and he spoke at that time. I'm new in the nation. He spoke better about what I wanted to say than me because I didn't have the courage to say all of it. For a young Muslim just coming in and getting married at 25, it was a bit much. I couldn't word it like that. But 28 years later, I totally understand and concur. You know, there's a lot of guidance in this for who we are by nature. And if we listen carefully to what the Father is saying, He's given us the keys to be successful in our marriage. A man has a mission in him, whether he understands it or not. He has some type of innate desire. He got to find it. It would be best to find it and live it. But at best, a helpmeet should be trying, if she chose him, she should be trying to find, help him find out why you're here. Because until that's put in order, there's going to be, some measure of peace, but there's going to be some contention. There's going to be some dissatisfaction on both parts because the man is not feeling totally like a man because he's not doing what he really wants to do that satisfies his soul. And the woman is really not feeling like she's really helping that man. And she may have some of her goals and missions above his because he don't have one. And to be honest, when we don't have one, we really leave a lot of room for the woman to do what she want to do. So, it's a powerful piece. The minister said when you have a mission, you don't even feel the sting of poverty. That's deep. And, listening to a lot of the persons that we have listened to on this power call, they all saying the same thing. They all went through poverty. They all struggled. They all went through sleeping in their cars and losing this and losing that. But because they was on a mission, they never felt down and out. So one day they're in their car, sleeping, no gas money, borrowing phones and all this, and the next day they sitting in a penthouse. So I'm just saying the way the Father teaches is absolutely magnificent. And I'll go to this point where he talked about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad being so important that there's never been a man like him, and what he does, and I'm paraphrasing, he fulfills something that was in the originator to fulfill 72 billion years ago. That's something to study. We can't even wrap our mind over the last 72 hours, let alone 72 years. So when a man is dealing with a dissatisfaction in the human being that goes all the way back to creation, then it would be best to learn of that man and see why his yoke is easy and his burden is light, meaning he's not weighed down by the heaviness of his assignment because he was born to do it. And he carries a light. It's a burden because the people don't really want the light. So he got to keep moving with the light to get the people to see the light that he's moving from. And I would just say this. I'm beginning to understand that Jesus, God's coming in the origin of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and what he's doing through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is so important that if we study that and follow the principles and examples that he put forth, then he's sufficient to guide each and every one of us into our own mission, purpose for being. That's all, family.
Praise be to Allah. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything that you would like to share? Sister Kenyatta?
Assalamu alaikum. This is just a bit a heavy message. I wasn't here with the first message, so I went and listened back. I listened to the first part one, and I took down a lot of notes. And I mean, it's so much information, and it's like when you're listening to the minister, on one, he'll say one thing, and you'll be like, yeah. Then he'll say another thing, you'll be like, ooh. It's like he'll say one thing and you're like, okay, like, when he talks about, just so many points. And then it's almost like he'll scold you on the next point, but then he'll comfort you on the following point, So just a lot, but just a couple. And because I have so many notes, a couple things that I wrote down. When he talks about mission, like I like how he even broke the word mission down in part one. When he talks about, you running from the mission, I can honestly say, like, I know when he talked about what the mosque is, right? When he kind of broke down the mosque, what it is, because you say the mosque, and when you make the decision or when you're chosen to do this work, right? You come into the mosque, and when he like broke down like what that means, like the purpose of the mosque. So like when you're plucked and you're chosen, that means you have a duty. And I can like concur with what he said. Like, so since I've made the decision, I made the choice to come into the mosque, when he was talking about how you'll get in there and you'll start seeing yourself changing. And you kind of get a little nervous, right? And I can say, yeah, that's true. Like everything he was saying, I'm like, wow, man, that's me. That was me. That is me. You come in there and you see the work. You think, okay, I'm ready for this work, and you get in there and you get into the mosque, and then you start seeing yourself changing, and your thinking is changing, and how you see things change. You see, how the people you're around, and sometimes it can be kind of, you can get nervous. It can be intimidating, like, ooh, this might be a little too much for me. And so you start seeing yourself backing away a little bit, or, sometimes, you might not want to talk about it, because when you're talking about certain things, because I know, like with me, like in the beginning, I'm so excited, right? And I'm like, oh man, like, I'm ready for the work, and I'm learning this and I'm learning that, and then some of the reactions I may get from people, I start seeing myself beginning to hush a little bit, or beginning to say, back away from being there as much, because I'm starting to see what is required of me. And what's required of me is letting go of what I think I'm supposed to be, or what I think I'm supposed to do, and where I think I'm supposed to be. And that's hard, because we get into a place where we're comfortable. When you get into the mosque, man, you getting shook. I mean, you are getting shook up. That can be scary a little bit, But so that's true. But I know, like for me, I know I see myself running, and as soon as I run, I see myself getting shook up too. And so that was just how he broke that down about the mosque, and our purpose is to raise our people. And like, even like when you think about when the minister talked about working a job. Well, if you have to work a job, you may have to do that. But what is the priority? What is your not the job? You still have to recognize the mission is the first thing, because you were chosen. You were chosen to be here. If you weren't chosen to be here, you wouldn't be where you are. So if you were chosen by Allah to be in this, to do this work, then that means you have to change your mind and how you see things. So, and how you're doing things. And so that's just, and then when he talked about, and again, I can keep going on and on. There was one other point that he said, when he said, you serve Allah's mission. When you serve Allah's mission, Allah will better your condition. But when you run from Allah, then nothing you, and I may not be saying this exactly right, but when you run from Allah, then nothing you do will come out right because you're running from the mission. So the things that we feel like, man, I can't pay this, or man, I'm struggling with this. If you're doing the mission, then you don't have those. You won't have those struggles because Allah is going to better your condition. Sometimes we say we understand that, but then I think we don't. Because when you in that place, it might not always feel good. But that's probably because you really not doing the work still. You're not doing the work, the internal work, So anyway, I'll probably jump back on because there's so much, but those are just a couple of things that stood out to me. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Oh, she decided not to speak. Let's go to Brother Daniel. Brother Daniel?
Yes, sir. I thought Sister Jamie was before me.
Yeah, she said she did. She disregard.
Oh.
I decided, well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one thing. Assalamu alaikum, family. I am going to say one thing. It was when he stated that the mission is not easy. And with the mission is going to come trials. And no matter what we try to run and not want to face, we have to face those trials. Right when you at the door, you're going to probably have a disappointment. It's not because Allah is trying to punish you or trying to make you feel some type of way, but he's trying you just to see how your action is going to be. He can't use a people that has disorder within us. We disordered when we don't get things our way. We're spoiled. We feel as though we don't want to do things because it's not going the way we feel it should go. We have our mindset on something. The minister said he used to try his children with candy or things or gifts, and then right at the door of his promise, he'll take those things away because he wants to see how they react. Well, God does the same thing. He wants to see where our heart is at, and he testing the heart. I want to read Matthew 5:8, and then I'm going to be quiet because I was told not to speak. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I'm going to leave that to your own interpretation. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Brother Ben.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother Daniel?
Yes, sir. The minister said something when he shared his personal experience with the plays, and he thought that his purpose was to make Black people feel better through his arts and skills. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew different, and he gave him maybe one compliment. He said, your play would make about 16 million. Then he gave him a level against him about at least three criticisms. They were pretty heavy. But the spirit of the minister was such that he had so much respect and love and admiration for his teacher. He dropped that thing immediately. And he took the criticism and the critique and bettered himself. Therein lies a great principle, because most of us, when we are criticized about something we are greatly attached to, we done with that person who levels that criticism. We don't want nothing else to do with them. And most of us fall out permanently when somebody is scratching us where we feel this is who we are. That principle is so powerful. We're going to have to learn to be able to take critique, especially from one who is from God, and accept it and move forward, even though it hurts. Because if we don't, as our sister spoke about the purity of heart, we may find ourselves never fulfilling who we are. Could we imagine if the minister would have fell out over that? We wouldn't be on this call right now. A lot of people, some of the students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, fell out because they couldn't take correction. Never came back. Some of us fall out the nation because somebody correcting us on a standard and we don't like it. Instead of looking at the standard, we looking at the person who bringing it, how they brought it. We can get in a lot of trouble. So I'll close with this sacrifice of what we think we should do. It's very important to come into our divine purpose. And when a human being that we believe is from God, he's looking deep into the recesses of our soul of why we're here, it would be best to pray, put our feelings in check, follow that instruction, and tomorrow we'd be better off than we was today. That's all, fam.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to, is it SJM? Not here anymore. Sister Gwen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. This was a power.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he is.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you see the name now?
Yeah, it just said SJM at first. I see you put the full name. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know that you are my fire. I want to sing it out loud, but I ain't gonna do that. You know, so this makes me, when you listen to the minister, it turns, even when you, in the beginning of it, let me go back to Brother Daniel. Being critiqued is I love accepting being critiqued by my brothers that has the experience to help me become a better soldier, a better fruit. So any kind of critique, I look forward. I go running to look for the critique, anything that can help better and round me and make me a better fruit, a better brother, a better husband, a better father. I love being critiqued, and this turns on my fire. Listening to this message that just came, the minister that we just got through listening to, everything about it turned on my fire. I'm already turned up and turned on, like my brothers say. I'm always on 10, right? This morning, I seen something right at prayer time. I was outside getting the truck started, doing my pre-trip, getting ready to roll. And I seen some lights coming, dropping out the atmosphere. I got it recorded. I sent it to my mother. I woke her up. She was already woke, prayer time. And I got it recorded. I wish I could show y'all what I saw in the sky, coming out of the sky at prayer time. And I don't want to say what it was, even though I know what it was. So back to what I was saying. There is no reason to fear when you come in to the house of God. There's no reason to fear, be scared, be worried, be concerned, except what will strengthen you. Have no fear. Go after the people. Once you get that information and it turns the fire on inside of you, you are excited to be able to use it and express it. I can't put it all out the way I want to put it out. I'm going to have to start taking notes and writing it down and putting it, on the label in my truck so I can just read it right off the rip to the, So I'm just always on 10 when it comes to going after our sisters and our brothers. I love this mission. I am turned on. It burns in me every day to get some numbers, get some numbers, some names, and invite people out. I don't care if they're going to Phoenix or New York on a flight tomorrow, LA, or even in Vegas, brother. This mission is in me, and I'm going to live and live it. I ain't going to say die. I'm going to live in this mission all the way till the God sends me to the next level. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You can't do nothing but love this after you've received and accepted it. After you accepted it and then you understand your role, yeah, it's difficult for the sister, for the wife, for my wife. It was difficult for her to grasp my time that was being split between the mission, her, the family, and the work that I do, you know, to feed, to take care of the family, to take care of the businesses. She didn't get, she wasn't on board with the full understanding of, oh, wow, he's really putting in any little extra time for the mission. He's loving it. He comes back, he's excited, he talks about it. After, you know, I listen to what, you know, about her day, and I call her throughout the day. When she calls me, normally, if I'm not working, I'm on the mission. She hears people in the background. She knows I'm on the mission because I'll answer the phone. I'll talk to her and I'll tell her, hold on, I'm going to call her right back. So she loves what I'm doing with the people. She loves what I'm doing with the nation, with my brothers, with my sisters. But it was a little bit hard for her to, not that she didn't trust me or trust, you know, it's just the taking, the pulling away from her. See, I'm keeping it 100, keeping it real. It bothered her for a second. And I don't know, it probably still does, even though she knows this is what I was picked and chose to do. All praise due to Allah. I accept no credit for I accept no credit for what he is doing to me, because it's the God doing it to me. I accept no credit for it. I love it, and I'm not afraid, and I ain't ducking, and I ain't running. So no matter where you are, if you in my presence, I'm coming for you. No matter where I'm at. If I'm in the grocery store with my wife, I'm still going to communicate with the people. I'm going in with a handful of papers, or I'm going in with a pen and some paper to be able to take your information or share some information with you. That's just me. I'm going to give her some time while I'm with her, but I'm not walking past the people without at least getting one or two and exchanging some information with some families to invite them out. That's how that's how good. I ain't gonna say that's how bad it's in me, but that's how good it's in me. And when it's in your spirit, once it's in your soul, and you know you connected to the God, once you get connected and your hand grips, let's say somebody take their hand and grab your shirt and squeeze it, right? And squeeze it until it tightens up on your back. That's how connected my spirit is on this mission right now. And many of y'all know, being a child, when your parent, if you did something, they'll squeeze your shirt and tighten it and pull you close to them. That's how connected my soul, my spirit is on this mission right now. I'm done. That's what I'm like.
Wa alaikum salam. Let's go to Sister Iman.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam. Yes, ma'am.
Firstly, everyone is talking. Everyone's talking about running. Everyone's talking about accepting the mission. It's very funny how God speaks to everyone through this power call. It's very funny, not coincidental at all. There's no such thing as coincidence. Of course, the thing that stood out to me was you serve Allah's mission, and Allah will better your condition. You run from this mission, and Allah will straighten the means of sustenance for you, and nothing you do will come out right because you're running away from your responsibility. What got me was you serve Allah's mission, and Allah will better your condition. Nothing in this world is lasting forever, as you can bear witness, and the whole world can bear witness. Everything is crumbling down. Even the infrastructures that we thought, and the industries that we thought would last forever, because it was all big, bright, and colorful around the time of, like, you know, the 80s and 90s, the late 1900s. It was big, colorful, and they were rising big. And all those are crumbling down at this point. And of course, we remember, what's his name? Mr. Trump, President Trump, the assassination of Trump. Now people say, oh, I understand that God saved you from such. Because we live in a world now where this entire world is serving the mission and the will of God, the active will of God. That is why Trump is our president. despite the numbers, despite the votes. And that is why everyone is starting to, that's why God is talking through this power call. And that is why God is really talking through the people, the Nation of Islam. He's really talking. If you align a lot of the recent lectures, repent for the kingdom of God is at hand, that was a word from Allah, God, through the nation, through the people, which says that this entire world, it's all subservient to what God desires for us to do, because he is bringing something within right now. And of course, you run from this mission and Allah will straighten the means of sustenance for you, and nothing you do will come out right because you are running from your responsibility. Of course, I bear witness to that. I have been falling off short for weeks because I have been running from my responsibility. Why? Because there's the voices in your head, the voices of doubt, the voices of anxiety, the voices of you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. God doesn't want you to do this. God doesn't want you to do that. One of the main reasons was because I didn't want to be like God. You see how I was forgetful? Even in scripture, the Holy Quran talks about Satan made Moses forget. I forgot that ye are all God's children of the Most High God for a hot moment. And because I forgot about that, I was like, I don't want to be like, God, a competitor with God. I don't want to be competitor, but this is the time where we're all reflecting God. It is obvious because he is talking through us. He's using us as his vessels to speak his word and his plan. He's planning right now, right through us, right now, as we speak. And because of that, Satan is really sacrificing all of his industries, his infrastructures, the media. All he has right now to redirect our energy elsewhere. Chaos. A relative of mine once told me chaos is like static, static electricity when you feel it. And then you're like, ow, that hurts. He's redirecting. He knows that God is using us as vessels for his plan, because all this is his plan now. We can't really do whatever we want to anymore. Even in scripture, I talked with someone yesterday that in scripture, as the scripture says, as it be like in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. We live in, I think, 100, Noah preached for 120 years. We live in 111th year, since 1914, which was supposedly their end. So we live in 111 years after such. And I remember asking them, because 120 years minus 111, that's 9 years. So I was like, what would you do in 9 years? And now I understand why there's a pressure on me. Like there's a physical weight. I couldn't allow myself to, I wasn't allowed to waste time, watch movies, or watch certain movies, waste time, play all day. I couldn't play or do sport all day like I used to. There was like a change in my spirit that locked me up, that forced me to walk away from certain things. And now I understand why. And it's not just me. It's happening with many other people, as I hear from people who bear witness to such. I'll be done in a second. I'm sorry. So the point was, this is a time where God's making his plan active through us. So that is why we really aren't slowing down. It's really, I heard someone talk about horses. Horses, when they're at the end of the race, they speed up. They don't slow down. So my thought was like, oh, what would I do in the span of 9 years, to get my people upright? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, I think it was like 23 or 27 years. The Holy Quran was revealed in context, of course. And around that time, he was establishing Islam with his companions throughout the different revelations throughout the span of those years. So it's like, what can we do in the span of 9 years? Which 9 is the number of completion. I don't know if that's coincidental or not. I'm not 100% going to like zoom into the signs, but there are a lot of signs. I wish I could talk more. The last thing I have to say is Satan, he's willing to sacrifice all that he has, what looks good. Disney, these fast food chains, these big industries. He's willing to sacrifice those. Hollywood, for the sake of confusing us with the time. There was student minister, Brother Daniel Muhammad, talked about the exact same thing. He's trying to confuse us with what time it is. And that's all I have to say. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you for sharing. Sister Kenyatta?
Assalamu alaikum again. So I've been kind of sitting here trying to decide if I wanted to have this talk about what's been on my mind and what really has stood out for what really kind of stood out for me in this message. But I know that this is a platform and this is a safe space where, we're able to share and we can learn from each other and pick and get points from each other. So I'm going to say it. So for me, the one thing in this message, or the one point, or the points that he makes in his message that really stands out for me right now with where I'm at in my journey, is when he talks about the mission in connection with your mate. So for me, as a married woman, and as a woman who is married to a man who is not a part of the nation, it has been, or it is sometimes very difficult when you feel like Allah is showing you, directing you to what your mission is, but you're connected to someone who may possibly not support that mission. So, and for me personally, I've been married to a person over 20 years, right? And my awakening to my mission, or my not necessarily awakening, my me humbling myself to allowing Allah to control instead of me trying to control, which I probably have done for over many years, out of my own fears and things like that. Allowed me to make choices in my life that brought me to a point where I'm just kind of really beginning to walk in my mission now. But I've been attached to someone for years, and now I'm at the point where I'm going in one direction. It is possible that person is not going in the same direction right now. Not saying they can't, but the right now they're not, because as a married person, how you move and how you do things, it is connected to another person. So, for example, if I'm at a point where I'm saying like, and as a woman, right? Because I don't know, I'm just saying this to everyone. I'm just talking about it because, it seems like when it is a brother who is in the nation and he's married to a woman who may not be in the nation, a lot of the times the woman kind of follows the man's mission, or she kind of follows the man. But when it's the other way around and you're a woman who's in the nation, but you're married to a man who's not, it can sometimes cause some struggle, right? Because you don't want to, like, when I listened to the minister and he talked about how Mother Khadijah, she supported his mission, and she, and how he talked about, like, if the person you're with is not, like, supporting that mission, it may not be the person maybe that might not be the person, you may love them, but they may not be the person. And, that can be a hard pill to swallow. It really can be a hard pill to swallow, because you love that person and you connected to that person. So, and I'm not saying this to ask for an answer or anything like that. I'm just talking about it, because I know Allah is the one who is, he's the one that's going to give me clarity, right? But when I hear that, and sometimes that kind of affects the movement in the mission for me, per se, because my movement in doing Allah's mission, it causes friction within the home, And so it's just so, and again, I'm just kind of talking it out because I feel like even me, I feel like I know what Allah is directing me to do, but it's kind of like, I'm also like torn because I'm like, what does that mean, Allah? Or like, what are you saying? Like, what do I do? So if my focus and my purpose is don't run from the mission, because every time you run from the mission, Allah will trouble those waters to let you know, nah. But sometimes when he troubles those waters, the troubling of the waters is happening within something that you have been like, that you may have to let go of. That can be very hard and very difficult. So anyway, that was just something that, like, really just for me, especially where I'm at in my life right now in doing the mission. And it's like, for me, I'm the only one right now, and I've said it before, who has been plucked, who's in the nation, right? And I'm not saying that, Allah knows what's best, right? But I am the only one right now. And so I just continue to trust and walk according to how Allah directs me. And I leave it in Allah's hand. But sometimes, within relationship between husband, wife, that can be challenging. It can be challenging, So anyway, I just wanted to kind of just drop that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
Oh, man, I wish I was in on that one. Oh, man.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's go to Sister Gwen.
Assalamu alaikum, family. This has been a very self-checking message. The first part, he said, in part one, the minister said, you must relate to the mission in order to relate to the man. So if you don't understand what that person's mission is, then no, you cannot relate to him. Have you been homeless? How can you relate to the homeless? Have you been hungry? I mean, you have a level of, what shall I say, understanding, but you don't have that level of really knowing. It's a difference. To understand, to think you know, and then to know, it's a definite difference. So in order to know the mission, you must know the man. He said, what you're born to do is easy for you. Maybe not. I mean, it's easy to get into the mosque and do what you're supposed to do, but is it, like the sister said, but is it easy outside the mosque? This Ramadan was horrible for me. I couldn't get up on time. Between the power call doing the reading and the nation doing the reading, I couldn't get up on time. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't eat like I'm supposed to eat. I was snacking. I was drinking. And then I realized it was something in there that I'm supposed to be doing. So I had to sit down and be quiet and listen and figure out what it was. And what it was is I feel like some of my brothers and sisters in the mosque have forgotten the mission. You can't never forget the mission. Ever. Because if you forget the mission, how can you carry out the mission? If you forget the mission, that's just like going to the grocery store. If you forget the way, how can you get there? If you forget the way, how can you tell somebody else how to get there? He said, you have a spiritual job to do. And that was my thing. I had to get my spirit together. I had to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be at this point, this minute right now. So it was work. It is still work. It will always be work. Because if your heart is in the mission, it's going to come out some days easy, some days hard. And he said, nothing comes easy that is of value. That's all. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Well, I think today I'm not the clip god. I don't know what to call this one, article god, but man, I'm so thankful that I knew. Sister Kenyette, I think I got an answer for you that may bring some clarity to you and to others who may be in a similar situation here. Let me share my screen. I think I got something for you. I need a directory because this all lives in my head. I just be knowing where to go to get it. But anyways, this is an old Muhammad Speaks newspaper. This is an old Muhammad Speaks newspaper that I think is going to speak directly to what you just said. Check this article out. The Divided House. Husband remains an unbeliever. What is the root of the problem? Here's the article. Remember, unbelievers differ as to degree. Some bitterly persecute the believer. Some constantly nag the believer, trying to break down integrity. Some subtly discourage the believer. Others show indifference towards true worship. Other unbelieving mates are favorable to Allah's truth, but do little to make spiritual progress. Gradual progress can be made in helping the unbeliever in breaking down opposition or in stirring up interest. If the believer is favorable, the believer, with the aid of the Islamic congregation, should work toward the goal of uniting the family by means of the home or mosque study. If the unbeliever is opposed, the believer needs to remember the above statements about reading the sky and the earth. Matthew 10:32 through 35. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I have come to send peace on the earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Woo. He that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. He that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent him. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward, and he that receiveth the righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward, and whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. If it must come to a showdown, then what? The believer must obey Allah and his messenger, which teaches us to read the Bible or poison book, right? The believer should refuse to become provoked or loud when the going gets difficult. Always remember this: the integrity of the believer is a must to enable the unbeliever to see the importance of loving Allah's truth. Consider what might happen if a wife fails to keep integrity by agreeing not to go to meetings of the Islamic congregation. May not the husband feel that these meetings could not be so important after all, or she would never give them up? May he not feel that her interest in the teachings of Messenger Muhammad is merely a passing fancy and nothing of any consequence? If so, how can a believer expect the unbeliever to take an interest in Allah's word? On the other hand, if the wife keeps on going to the meetings, explaining to her unbelieving husband why they are so important to her, he might in time be impressed. May not the unbeliever eventually accept an invitation, attend one of the meetings, and thus see for himself their beneficial nature? So the believing mate must always remember that keeping integrity works for the benefit not only of the believer, but also the unbeliever. So hopefully that was something that can, shine a little perspective on things, and those who may be going through a similar situation, you can take that and just remember, the more we see importance in it, because they watching us, they checking to see if we improve. And hey, Allah, we have been told that we're righteous by nature, wicked only by circumstance, so we want to do good. Islam is truly our nature. And remember what the minister said. He said, when I go into the churches, I don't try to convert them into what I know they already are. So we already are that. We just acting other than ourselves. So when we naturally see something that's better and good, we got to fight ourselves to say no. We got to convince ourselves to do bad. So he teaches us that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you never have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean one next to it. So let's just strive to make sure that we are the best example that we can be, that we go into the meetings as much as we can, that we tuned in and we're striving as much as we can, because if an unbeliever sees that it ain't that important, you willing to miss, you willing to skip, I see you making an excuse not to go, it must not be that important, right? Well, you ain't studying, it must not be that important. Well, you ain't growing. You still got the same attitude, same nigga mentality. You react the same. So it must not be that good. So the better we are at striving, the better we are at just being an example, we have to become the teachings. I am it. Whether if you go or not, you go to the meeting because you exposed to me. My lifestyle, my way of thinking, my just perspective, the way I handle things is going to be different now. And you will be a fool to deny this if it's showing improvement. So, and this is the same with our people. Some people may not be in a marriage, but it's the same with your brother, your cousin. It's just saying with I meet some people these days, not saying I'm the best example, but I meet some people, they see me, man, what's up, brother? I was at the gym the other day. Brother, man, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Man, I've been doing good, brother. I noticed you were putting the emphasis on brother. We went to South Oak Cliff High School. We both, in the hood, but he brother this, brother that. So they'll see it and they'll start to act accordingly. You'll start to see people change when you're in the room. Put the smoke out, cuss, think you don't, oh man, my bad, brother. Man, be yourself, bro. I ain't here to judge you. Oh man, my bad. I ain't mean, I hear him correct himself. Man, them brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and it takes time. It's not gonna be no overnight process. Shoot, it's not an overnight process for you to get yourself together. Come on now. It ain't overnight. We've been in 5-10 years. We still getting ourselves together. So we can't expect them who don't even believe to just cold turkey that thing. But man, if I'm the best example I can be, I sure can make it look good. So when it says make all boys and men join the FOI, does that mean take him by his collar and drag him to class? No, that ain't what that means. Does it mean take a sister and drag her to the MGT class? No, but look at what the white man does. How does he make them into entertainers? How does he make them into rappers? How does he make them into going certain ways? Because of the influence, because of the messaging, because of what's shown. That's how he's making them. He ain't dragging them, forcing them to say, I want to be a rapper. I want to be a drug dealer. But he knows how to put it in movies and TV shows. He knows how to highlight those. And he knows how to position it. How do we position this thing? I heard the minister say one time, man, he don't come back to his home and tell his children and gossip about what's going on. He don't, because he going to taint their minds. It ain't that he, being fake. But hey, man, I gotta position this thing, man. If it's as good as we say it is, do we make it look good? Because, boy, we sure when something go bad, we gonna gossip about it. Boy, we sure gonna tell it, ain't we? But what about the good things, though? Do we have the same energy for the good things? The fact that you got a brotherhood, the fact that you got a sisterhood, the fact that I can call a brother in Atlanta and we studied the same thing in Dallas. And man, I ain't going up in the church. I didn't have that because we all was different. But man, this thing's so united. The fact that, hey man, if I'm slipping up, man, I got a brother who will call me on it. I got to, you know what I mean? Man, that discipline, it helps me out. Sometimes I know I don't want it sometimes, but boy, I need, man, what about the good things? So the positioning. Am I more happy? Or am I just more depressed and more militant and more, you so hard. We ain't eating pork no more, you just going in. They be like, man, these niggas done turned the brother out. Are you more inviting? Are you more patient now? Are you more of a redeemer? So these are all things, man, that we can look at. Now, we know naturally it's a little bit harder. Naturally, the woman follows the man. The man takes lead. But remember this, it ain't even you. It's Allah. It's Allah working through the man or the woman, so it ain't about us anyway. What gender it is, long as we striving to reflect him, he's the real attracting power, not us. We still dirty. Come on now. Some of us been in, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We know we ain't clean all the way up yet. Oh, we got a lot of room to grow. So if we get my butt out the way. I'm not finna sit here and talk. Let me turn the minister on so you can hear it from the other room. I ain't finna put you with me. Let me get my butt out the way. I'm finna introduce you to him. He gonna reel you in. So it's all about positioning, marketing. There you go. Marketing. knowing how to craft a good offer. Come on now, you learn how to put that offer together in the digital real estate class. You'll start attracting them. But yeah, man, hopefully that gave us some perspective to those who dealing with similar things. Let's go back to we got a couple people. Let's go to is it Shantana?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm sorry. Brother Sultan, then Sister Shantana. My bad.
Yes, sir. Get that sister opportunity. I can get back to it. I was on a phone call, so I missed a few things. Get that sister the opportunity.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Bismillah. Next, you're so amazing. Everyone on this call. I'm gonna try to remember to the best of my knowledge, because I started laughing at you, I kind of lost some of my thoughts. But basically, when Sister was speaking on being married, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had spoke on with the brothers to go out to get the sisters and the sisters to go out to get the brothers. Well, I happen to be one where a brother came and got me. That I joined in 1998. And when I met with the minister at the Savior's Day is when I learned a lot about when you see the minister, I saw the minister. But when she was talking, she nearly about tears in my eyes because I married the one that we got married in 98. But when we got married, we went off to college. So what happened was I would be asking when we were going back to the mosque. So where we was, there was no study group, there was no mosque, but wasn't that far from where we lived, where the mosque, where I came when I came in. But here's the point. My thing, what happened with me is I was a new beginner. I was young in the mission. I was young, but as I grew into it, learning what the mission was, I had started to notice things about him that made me realize that the two wasn't lining up. So I ended up divorcing him because as I grew into the mission, it just, the minds weren't lining up and it wasn't feeling too good, but I stayed in there for 13 years to try to get us on the same page of what I had been learning and what the minister was teaching. And I'll say this, one of the things, like where I'm living now, I'm an hour and 45 minutes from Minneapolis. I've dedicated my life and mission that, like where I'm at here, I'm close to a study group, but at the same time, it's a lot missing. So what I would do, literally, drive to go to my meetings. I always try to make sure that when I'm talking to someone, especially us as believers, that part of the mission as well is also resurrecting yourself. You gotta keep the mission in forefront, but the mission also start with you first. You start with the resurrecting your mind and your soul and yourself, and then you spread it abroad to others. But in order to do that, you have to make your meetings, your study group meetings, definitely for the sisters, the MGT meetings, and then you have to make sure you make the Wednesday night meetings as many meetings as you can. Because I've learned that when you don't do that, like one of the sisters had mentioned, you can't forget about the mission. Your whole mission would change. And when you get caught up in this world, and especially with work, the minister said, that will help you will forget about the mission, being caught up in this world, being caught up with your family. I've learned that I had to forsake all others and everything to put my focus on the mission and my goal into helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deliver the lost found people, starting with myself. I pray to Allah I've said something that would help someone else. Thank you for being there and family. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, Brother SJM, Brother Sultan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, y'all back with it, brother. So, there's a lot of there's a difficulty in what this mission. There is some difficulties there. So there's some inexperience that's going to happen with, our people not understanding our mission. Let's say the sister said she's been married 20 years. Sister, I'm right there with you on the 20 years. How about that? So 20 years is to be able to be married, that's a blessing. To be able to hold on and hang on and let them see you represent the God and the mission. Just stay, I would say, stay focused on doing what you're doing. My wife is my help. She helps me do the mission by her patience. She's not MGT. She helps me with the mission, with her sacrifice. See, we don't even know if we just got to hold on and notice the little things that they do to sacrifice that makes it a little easy for us to get in this mission, get deep in this mission as we can, because if it was any worse, I'm pretty sure by now we wouldn't be with our significant other if it was any worse. So, or even if it was that horrible or that bad, but let them continue to watch us follow the path of righteousness. There's no force. Well, come on, this Sunday, but there's going to be no, I'm not forcing you to. So she'll come when she is comfortable, she'll come. But there's never, I don't force her to. We have a family. There's no force. Sometimes the girls want to get up. Sometimes they don't. I don't force them to. But I make sure I'm up and I'm on the job. I'm on the mission. I'm with the brother. I'm answering the phones. My phone, there's a brother that's in the, in the mosque, a lieutenant, a cap, anybody calls my phone, I'm never going to not answer my phone because I'm done. Always answer my phone. I'm going to always do the right things that I'm required to do when it comes to this mission. I'm never going to duck off. I got to say it again. I'm never going to duck off on the mission just to please my significant other, because this mission is first and family is first too. But this mission outweighs the when I say, I'm not going to say it to where you have when people have a misunderstanding. Like, oh, you mean the nation come before the family? No, sir. No, ma'am. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not gonna. That phone ring at 2:00 in the morning, and the brothers and the brothers said, "Hey, we need to meet up, brother. I'm up out that bed because we got some business we need to take care of. Whether it involves a sister or it could be something going on, and we are required to get up and go save a life if we need to. There's no explaining, no explanation. We got to call. I got to go over here. We got something we got to deal with. We got Thursdays. We got a mission to go out there and go after our people. Don't think that I'm going to plan some things with my wife and my family that I'm already planning ahead. Okay, on this day, we're going to do this. But keep in mind, I'm going to also make sure that I'm ahead on my planning with my nation and my sacrifices. So I'm always ahead of schedule. I'm making sure the calendar got this. Okay, I can't choose that. Oh, then is there some days that, okay, I might not be able to make it out, at that time, because I promised, my wife that I'm going to make it at, we're going to go here, or I'm going to plan to go there with her. I'm keeping a balance. See, when we don't have an FOI sis or an MGT brother, myself, or any other brothers, you got to make a balance. So everybody, so it's understood. You is everybody on your side, and her and the family on that. You got to keep a balance so that you don't run the divorce wave in the room. The wave of divorce starts singing. Oh, separating them, get away. Let me figure out how to divorce. No. They your biggest mission right now. Even though you out there on the mission, they're still your biggest mission that's going to require some patience. This is going to require you to lead by example. Don't huff and puff when he ain't listening to what you saying about some positive production that you were a part of in your mosque or with the believers or out feeding families. Yeah, he see it or she see it. They see it. But also they wasn't a part of it because they had the choice. They have the choice to come on and be a part of it. Here, I'm getting ready to go. It's MGT 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning. We got to protect them sisters. We got days where different brothers going and protecting it, getting the sisters in, making sure nobody comes to that class and disturbs them sisters, making sure they protect it. Yes, sir. I'm going to pick my time. Okay, 7:30 to 8:30. Okay, this is what I'm doing. And she already know. I'm going to make sure to secure the sisters because I signed up. This is a 24/7 lifestyle. Family, the nation. Family, the nation, and everything that requires with it. For me being a brother, everything that requires me to be and do my duty and carry out my duty without half-assing I'm not half-assing. I'm coming all the way home. It's all or nothing, and nothing ain't gonna work for me. So I'm all in. The same way LeBron is going to play that game every night, I'm all in on this, brother. I'm all in. Hamstring or not, I'm in. And I ain't coming with no excuses. And I ain't using no excuses just to sit back and do nothing over here neither. If it's nothing going on, hey, babe, I'm going to check back with you. Let me get out here. If it's nothing going on, I got house responsibilities. I fix the plumbing. I fix the AC. I do the yard, the landscaping. I fix the pool pump. I'm looking on YouTube. I got fuel injectors just went out on my Tahoe. I'm trying to fix that. I'm all around. The God has given me the ability to fix and go after everything, not just this little section. So just keep that. We got to just keep in mind how much we have, the ability that we have. The minister opens up every door for us to see through it. Every window, he gives us every window. Oh, okay, that's what I see over here. Oh, okay, that's how he showed me how to make that work. Oh, okay, he showed me how to make it work there. Our people, our wives, our families, if they're not in the mosque, they are our biggest mission. Patiently, just have patience with them. That's it. Come on, brother, let's go.
Praise be to Allah. One thing that stood out to me is when the minister talked about the first work. Said the first work is to raise the black man up. I don't care what you're doing, what your work is. Doctor, lawyer, business person, all that. It's not more important than the work the messenger put before us. It doesn't matter what you are. I didn't call you to no law, no business, no bank. He said, what the hell is that to the work that's in front of us? It's good, but secondary. The first work is to raise the dead. So I was asked one time, how do you separate the teachings and business? And I told them, I don't. I think that's a luxury. But if we can find a way to marry it, together, that's, I think, the easiest way. So if I'm a lawyer, okay, I'm defending in a way to help my people in the resurrection of the people. If I am a teacher, I'm also infusing the teachings with whatever I'm doing. If I'm a cook, I'm cooking from the perspective of how to eat to live, and I'm educating them as I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm teaching them our way. So if we can think about what we do, if we can think about how we do it, we can say, oh, wow, the teachings is really universal. It's so many principles I can apply to whatever I do. So that I don't have to feel like when I'm doing this, I'm not doing the mission, and I'm only doing the mission when I'm not doing. If you can find a way to sit down and infuse it together, everything you do every day, you doing the mission. Because you never get off. So the minister was asked one time about salat. He said, how do you make salat when you travel all the time? He said, I'm always in constant prayer. I'm in constant prayer. The work that I do is communication with Allah. Man, ain't that beautiful, man? The level of understanding. You have those who would, oh, well, you got me pray 5 times a day. Yeah, we should strive to. Don't mean you get away from it. The ritual is a reminder of the principle. What the minister is saying, I mean, think about this. There are those who stop. You do it 5 times a day, but then you go back to your devilish, hellish life. Then he says, Allah promised money, but you must do the mission first. Some of us want the money before we do the mission. Well, if I just get enough money, I'll be able to do the mission. if I just if I get a little bit more free. Nope, find a way to do it now. Find a way to infuse it now, because once you do that, that's when he's going to help you. And then the last piece is, I love how he didn't say, I love how he said the coat. What you want is in the lost friend. He said that on his 90th birthday too, by the way. He said the coat, the car. He said it's all with the lost found. So if we find a way to help the lost found, now our problem book says, when we solve those problems in the problem book, and we know the problem book is stated in a mathematical way describing the condition of our people, right? It says we get a reward, a monetary reward. So could that be saying, could it be saying that when we solve problems within our people, bring solutions to our people, that's where the actual reward is coming from? The money, good homes, friendship of all walks of life, could it be that's where it will come from? So we spend all of our time thinking about a product, and we spend all our time online with somebody else online is doing. I want to get into this. I want to get into this. You got your product. Come on now, believers. We got our product. The teachers is the product. We now got to go find the lost found who we can serve and deliver it to. What does our Supreme Wisdom lesson say? Problem number 13. It says you must learn how to use it and get benefit while you live. What is that? It specifies that is luxury, money, good homes, friendships of all walks of life. Now let me ask a question. How many of you all feel a resistance of payment with the teachings? Be honest. Put the number 1 in the chat. Well, man, I'm using the teachings and I'm gonna get paid. Anybody feel any? What
does that mean? What does that mean, Brother Ben? What do you mean by that?
Meaning, okay, it says you must learn how to use it to get benefit while you live. Luxury, money, good homes, friendship of all walks of life. Do you feel any resistance of using the word to get some benefit, money? There are many of those, who actually do. They don't feel comfortable receiving a payment for teaching, for the teachings. Although the minister said, if you aren't rich, or if you want to be rich, he says you must learn to use the word. Not in a manipulative way, not misuse, but use. Not misuse, but use. So if we have the word and we know that our people have all of these problems, then we must figure out what your gift is. Because the minister said, we are so unique. So what is your gift? What is your lane? And how can you take these teachings? How can we take this word, deliver a solution, provide a solution for a problem? That's where your coat is, he's saying. That's where your this is. That's where your that is. In serving. So our focus, he's telling us, our focus should be on them, because really when our focus is on raising them up, as a byproduct of that, that is your business. Our Father's business. In solving their problems, and in return for that, how much is it worth to be able to save a black man, save a black woman? What is it worth? For you to be able to finally break free from that which has been holding you mentally for decades of time. What is that worth for you to help somebody get unstuck? What is that worth? We'll pay $50 out to eat. at a fast food restaurant, that food gonna come in and it's gonna be out within the next 48 hours. And it ain't even good for you. It didn't even really nourish your body. Matter of fact, it took years away from your body. They pay for that. So the first work being the resurrection, if we focus on that, Then it says Allah promised money, but you must do the mission first. He said, if you can't do for self, get a job, but the job shouldn't be the number one thing on your mind. The number one thing on your mind should be what you have accepted, the truth, and to look at your people suffering and go to raise them from this terrible condition. And everyone must be committed to that work. That's the work that make all other work meaningful. Now, another question I have, how many of y'all, the first thing that's really on your mind, what's really on your mind is your bills? Your bills. That's what's main thing on your mind, the bills. So you can't focus because when I get up in the morning, it's these damn bills, man. They seem like they come around every 2 weeks. My mama told me this when I was growing up. She said, boy, I feel like, boy, when you get older, it's going to seem like them bills come around every 2 weeks. She wasn't lying. Ooh, that one, she was telling the truth. You wake up, you can't think about nothing now. You think about being behind on that car note. You damn, is they finna, come on now, y'all ready for me? Man, let's keep it real. Every time one of them big trucks come by, damn, is that the repo? They finna come get me? Come on now. Woo! You scared to open up that bank account. I'm scared, sometimes be scared to log in. I don't even want to see it. You know it's low. You don't even want to see how low it is. Woo! But look at what the minister's saying here, man. Let me try to put some of this in perspective. He says, but the job shouldn't be the number one thing on your mind. Now, man, how can that not be the number one thing on my mind when I gotta eat? I gotta put clothes on my back. I gotta take care of the family. How can this not be the number one thing on my mind? Here's a perspective. There's many millionaire books that tell you money is just a byproduct. So if we strive to just shift perspective and focus on helping, I know it seems like weird, like why would I focus on that when I gotta help myself? Because in focusing on helping others and doing the work, that's where your resources come from, in helping them. So if we find out a way to put together something that helps, and the more people we help, the more we are helped. Can you imagine? I'm helping 1,000 people a month. Hey man, the more people you help, that's more people that's able to exchange something of value, which is money, which is only a medium of exchange of value. If I'm valuable to 1,000 people a month, you don't think you'll get something to help you be okay? So it's just a mindset shift, because if I'm focused on my bills, I'm not focused on the people's problem, which means I'm also not focused on the solution, because I'm focused on the wrong thing. So if the devil can distract us to focus and put our focus on the wrong thing, he knows we'll continue to be in a loop. We'll be in a loop because I'm always focused on the printout versus the printer versus the software that printed the paper out. I'm just looking at the paper that was printed out. So when the paper comes out, I'm trying to modify the paper. No. If you want to get the right print, you don't modify the paper that has came out. You go to the software and do something differently in the software so that the software can produce a different paper. So let's go to Sister Jamie, because y'all know we love to hear Sister Jamie when she fired up. So if we done said something to fire up, come on, let's hear it.
You had said something in regards to how many of y'all, the first thing you get up, it's about the work. You got to go to work and you're not focused on the mission. The problem is that's the reason why we have so many problems in our lives, because we're not focused on the mission. God put every last one of us here to do something. We all have a purpose. Every last one of us, and unfortunately, many of us die not being able to fulfill our purpose. But I bear witness, believers. I bear witness. When we do the work, I have seen myself. I'm literally doing the work, feeding the homeless, clothing the homeless, going out talking to the homeless, fishing, bringing 20, 30 people to the mosque. And all of a sudden, and I don't serve no smooth God, okay? I serve a real God, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 shows up in my bank and on check. Something I done did, some stuff I didn't put forth. See, the thing of it is, we are tested. We are tested with our faith in our belief, understanding that we don't put money in front of the work. I was sitting here talking to one of my sisters on MGT.
We can't hear you, sister. Your signal is not the best.
I had it backwards. How much did you hear? I'm sorry. How much did you hear? I'm sorry. I apologize. I was sitting here just talking to the sister, like, look, because we're doing a big push on trying to get at least 50 newcomers to the mosque a month. And she said, well, Sister Jamie, what do you have in mind? I said, we got to go to the people. We got to go to the street. And I bear witness, last month alone, we had over 30. We didn't reach our quota. We had over 30 new people. We did about 6 community outreaches, and we had over 30 new people to come in. I'm working with a couple of homeless women right now, and I got one that comes out consistently every week. She's homeless, don't have no income, don't have anything. I told that sister, I said, look, baby, don't worry about your income. Don't worry about what you got going on. I said, all I need you to do is focus on getting yourself in order with God. That's what I told the sister. I said, focus on getting yourself in order with God. The SSI, the Social Security office, called her. She has her appointment. She will have her money with back pay for since 2022, all because she coming to the mosque and the doors are opening for her. Y'all just listen when you walk out on faith. When you walk out on faith. My job, I had been having issues when I first moved here to Savannah. And I told God, I had been praying. I said, God, I don't know what's going on. So my job ended. But the lady couldn't fire me. Let me show you how God worked, but y'all. The lady couldn't fire me. So what she did was she offered me to resign. I resigned as of the 21st of April. And guess what happened? I got a new job already lined up and ready with the county as of the 21st of April. You see how God closed one door and opened up another? And guess what? It's at night. So now I'm able to focus more on the mission in the daytime to be able to serve the people that I need to serve. Don't worry about where God, sometimes he'll close the door just to see how you react. Remember, I keep telling us it's about those tests, to test the heart, to test the faith, to test our resolve. How are you going to resolve? How are you going to act if I don't give you the car that you want, the house that you want, if I don't put the food on your table that you want? How are you going to react? We just have to have that faith to know that when we walk with him, all doors will open when he desired for them to open. That's all I had to say. Assalamu alaikum.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Well, family, I have something I would love to show y'all. How many of y'all right now, as we close, you have some money, you have some assets, you have children, maybe you got grandchildren, and you do not want to go out unorganized, and you feel like you need to get order if anything happened, even if you're not older, so that you can have something to pass down. Your children know what stuff is, your life insurance policy, and then you got to get all this stuff in order, man, because you just never know. We have something that we would like to share with you guys. I put this is an animation I made, by the way. Y'all the first people that's about to see this. Y'all the first people that's about to see this. So I really would love to hear y'all feedback at the end of this. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get off of the live on YouTube, and I'm gonna show it to y'all on Zoom. So everybody who's tuned in on live stream, I thank you all for listening. I'm about to share this with them. I'll share with you guys maybe tomorrow, but I'm gonna share this with them. But thank you all for listening, tuning in to Man and His Mission. We're gonna go ahead and close out with Assalamu Alaikum. Those of y'all who are on Zoom, if y'all can stay on for me. But everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and everywhere else, I'll see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.